Hi everybody, I'm David from SMS Store Traffic's Tech Support, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the Pearl, straight from unboxing all the way to checking your traffic reports. So let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing right now. All right, let's move forward with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, what you'll see is the welcome card with two QR codes, one for the detailed instructions and the other one to be able to download the app. We've also got the SMS tool, which is to be used to put the device in setup mode. We'll get to that when we get to that portion of the installation. And you also have a main unit and a secondary unit. Those are already installed with their brackets in the side mounting position, and the secondary as well. And we can get rid of the box now, and we'll take care of getting the app downloaded and getting started with the whole process. So grab my phone here. All right, open up the camera, scan the QR code and open that up. So here you can see the app download page. It can direct you either to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on what type of device you have. I have an iPhone, so in this case, I'm going to click on the App Store. And here you can see that it just has an open button because I already have the app installed. For you, it would just be an install button instead, and you can go ahead and click that. And then we're going to be able to go ahead and create your account, your company, and get the device set up. So now that we've downloaded the app, the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and create an account. So as you can see here in the app at the bottom, it says don't have an account yet, sign up. So let's go ahead and click that. All right, so now we're going to enter our information. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fill out some personal information here. I'm going to add my first name and the last name, as well as the job title. It's an optional field, but always good to add there. And a phone number. We'll confirm the language, and we'll go ahead and just select where we purchased from. And then we're going to be able to click next. All right, and here we're going to enter some contact information for the account. So that's going to be email address. We'll create a password that conforms to the rules, and then we're going to confirm that, and then we're going to go ahead and click I accept the terms and conditions, and then the sign up button. Once you've submitted the email address and the password, this pop-up is basically asking you to double check the email address and confirm that it is indeed typed in correctly, and then you can accept that, and then we're going to move forward to sign in, because now we see the sign in page, so we'll use that information to get into the app. All right, here we are. So this is going to be the first screen that you see, and basically what we're going to do here is set up our company and the first location that we're going to be monitoring. So we'll click the next, and then after that we're going to connect the device and collect the count data. All right, and then we can view the count data later. So we're going to set up the company. So here we're going to be setting up the company. So in this company setup screen, we're going to add the name of our company. So that's going to be sort of, the chain or company name. We're going to choose the industry in which the company operates. This is just good in terms of reporting. It's going to automatically suggest the appropriate types of reports for certain industries. And we're going to add the email address to be associated with that company. So it's not a user account, it's really the company that will be tied to that. But since I would be taking care of it, I'm going to add the same one as my user account. And then we're just going to put the phone number in there as well. And we also see that we have the option to select a POS. So you can select whichever POS that you're currently working with. You can also select NA if it doesn't matter or it doesn't apply to you. But we can do some integrations with those that you can check in your reports later, and we can talk about that in a bit. And then the final thing is going to be the automatically create first location. This is great if you only have a single location. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to mimic your first location with the company information. If you do have several locations, you may want to leave this one unchecked, or else you'd have to go and edit the first location that was automatically created, as it's just going to mimic the company name and not actually be associated to a specific location. And so now we can go ahead and click the next button. So now we see the address information. This is going to be the physical street address of the location of the company. So basically head office, where is that? So I'm going to add that here. And here we have the auto select. Perfect. All that looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and click finish. So I basically started typing, it auto suggested, found the location, and selected it, pre-filled everything. Perfect. And I'm going to click finish. Perfect. So now the location's been created successfully, and it's time to set up the business hours. Business hours are especially important because they determine the sleep-wake schedule of the Pearl to preserve battery life and increase the longevity of those. So let's go ahead and click continue. And so here what I can do is I can click on the suggest hours from Google. So what it'll do is it'll find my address and suggest whatever is there in Google My Business. I can absolutely go ahead and apply those if I like, if you like, or you can manually edit these yourself. So I can just say no thanks and then go ahead and update these by hand to whatever I want or whatever you want, but I'm still gonna just use these because these are the correct hours. All right, perfect. So now that that's all set, I'm gonna save those business hours and there we go, save. All right, there we go. So the location has been set up and the next step is going to be getting our Pearl added. So if you click on the location directly, it's going to show us a device list, and in there are no devices. The only option is to add a device. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so we're going to choose the device that we're going to install. In this case, it's the Pearl. Okay, so once we click start, I'm just going to go ahead and move over towards the doorway so that we can move forward with the installation. Okay, so now we can see that the first step on the app for this installation is to go ahead and pull the battery tabs on both sensors. So let me go ahead and grab one of them. So this is the main unit. Not sure if you can see that, but yeah, let's give you a good little zoom on that. All right, that's the main unit with an M on top. And I'm gonna go and pull that tab out. And we're gonna take a look at it, and you should see a solid green light on for about 12 seconds. And then that's going to flash green every 3 seconds after that. Let's see. Yeah, we're on the green flash phase. Perfect. So that is the tab pulled out of the main unit and now secondary unit. And let's go ahead and pull that battery tab out. Same thing, boot light. This one is only going to be about 5 seconds before shutting off. And then you're going to see no lights, and that is totally normal. Perfect. So now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and click next on the app. All right, and here we're going to choose the installation height. So that depends on what we want to count, whether it's adults or adults only or adults and children. In this case, I'm going to choose adults only. And then we're going to choose the mounting orientation or the mounting style that we're going to use for the Pearl. Considering this is just a traditional doorway, we're going to use the side mounting technique. And so I'm going to click on that one and next. It's going to ask me whether I have automatic doors or any type of infrared sensors or anything like that. In this case, we don't have an automatic door, so we're going to click that. If you did have an automatic door, you can click on that, and then you're going to get special additional instructions on how to overcome that. So now it's telling us to put the enter setup mode on the main sensor. So again, let's go ahead and grab that. The main sensor is the one with an M on top. And let's grab that tool. I'm going to ask my lovely little assistant here to pass me the tool, which is not close to me. Awesome. Thank you so much. So to get into setup mode, we have our little tool here, and the top hole is the one where we saw the LED light, and the one right below it is where we're going to put the pin, and press until you feel a click. We're going to hold that for about 5 seconds till the light turns on. All right, now we can go ahead and take the pin out, and we are in setup mode. So we're going to click next in the app, and all right, so next. And so now it's basically about alignment and getting these physically installed. So what it's saying is basically we want to install the S unit, the secondary unit first at 54 inches. And then we're going to put the main unit on the left side, and we're going to slide it until it aligns. And I'm going to explain all that, but just giving you a quick rundown of the instructions, and let's get right into it. Secondary unit, S unit, that one goes on your right side when you're inside looking outwards. The M unit, main unit, should be on your left. Since we're starting with the secondary unit, let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so I've just laid out the tape, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark a little line here at the 54-inch mark. That's going to be where we're going to align the bottom of the secondary unit on the right side of the door. So now that I have that little mark, I can go ahead and put this tape away and grab the secondary unit. Yeah, confirm that's the secondary. There is an S on top. And we're going to peel away the backing tape here from the sticky tape. And so now we're going to find our little mark there, and I'm going to align the bottom of the pearl with that, stay about an inch off the side of the doorway, and try and make it nice and straight. And there we go. And we're going to firmly press that into position. Okay, so secondary unit is installed. So I'm going to grab the main unit now, and we're going to handle that one. That one is the one with the M on top and the light still on it. If the light has turned off by now, you can go ahead and put the pin back inside for about 5 seconds to get that light to turn back on. It does time out after 10 minutes. And this is where the color of the light becomes important. Setup mode, in this case for the physical installation, when the unit is in your hand, the light is most likely red. The color of the light is going to indicate your alignment. So red means you're not aligned, green means you are aligned. So what we're going to do is basically pull off the backing tape here, and we're going to get this onto the doorway and slide it. We're going to get this, and before you stick it, what we're going to do is we're going to slide it down up until it turns green. And push that firmly into place. Perfect. All right, so now the installation phase is now complete. We've got both units mounted and a green setup mode light indicating the two units are properly aligned. So let's grab the app and see what else is next in store for us. So we're gonna click next, and okay, perfect. So it says verify the LED on your main pearl is showing a solid light. It is. It does say if it's no longer lit, press and hold it again for another 5 seconds to turn it back on. It's still on, so we're going to go ahead and press next. And here we're going to give a name for the device. So in this case, I only have one door in this location, so I'm going to call it main door. Okay, so we've named the pearl main door because we've only got one door in the location. We've entered our Wi-Fi SSID as it appears when you scan for the network, case sensitive, and the password as well. So we're going to go ahead and click link to network, and we're going to go through the different steps of basically getting your app to connect to your pearl to receive the Wi-Fi information, connect to the internet, our servers, and then get connected to your location. It's a little process, might take a couple of minutes, but once that's done, we should be complete with the setup. So in this case, it did work, and we got connected no problem right on the first try. If ever you encounter any issues, there will be a retry button right there. Common things to look at is just ensuring that your Wi-Fi SSID is exactly as it appears when you scan for the network. That is a case-sensitive field. Same thing with the password, especially the password, because since it comes out in blanked out characters for privacy reasons, you may want to click on the little eye icon that will reveal the actual password just for you to double check and confirm everything is good to go. And 99% of the time, it's a typo in the password that prevents it from connecting. And then, adjusting that and clicking link to network usually gets it back to working. If it doesn't work and it still won't connect, there is a button to go ahead and contact support. If you're within business hours, that will start a live chat session with one of us here in tech support, and we'd be happy to help you out. And if you're outside business hours, it will basically just send us an email and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And if ever we haven't gotten back to you before the next business hours start, feel free to come up on our support site and start a new chat. We'd be happy to help you on the spot. Okay, so now that everything is connected and the device is set up on your account and connected to Wi-Fi, there is an initial 2-hour wait period before seeing data populate in your reports. That's just a battery saving feature. The Pearl only communicates once per hour, every hour during business hours. That is to keep the battery usage as low as possible. So it will take a couple of communication intervals before you get your first data. And then after that, it's going to be every hour. Your reports should update if you're connected to the Wi-Fi. All right. So now to make sure everything is working properly and properly installed, aligned, all that fun stuff, let's go ahead and do some walk tests and go over a few of the common pitfalls while we wait for our first data to show up in our reports. So let's get started with a walk test. Walk test is pretty simple and easy. All you need to do is walk through your doorway and take a look at the main unit. So as you walk through, basically when you walk out, you want to see a single red blink. And when you walk in, a single green blink on the main unit. Secondary unit stays dark. You shouldn't see any lights on that. As long as you see the green blink when you're walking in and the red blink when you're walking out, you know you're good to go. Your counting and your directionality is good. If ever you see a green blink when you walk out, what that means is you need to swap the two units. You probably have your main unit on the right side instead of on your left. Swapping those will get your directionality back into the right orientation, and you'll be counting appropriately from then on. Other things that you might see in case you don't get that green blink when you walk in, take a look at a couple of things like alignment. Sometimes you might get a green alignment light, but you're slightly off on the height or on a tilt or something like that. So just double check those things. It's always best to be exact, and that should clear it up. If ever you see no lights at all, that means that the main unit is not seeing the secondary unit for whatever reason. A couple things to check. Did you actually pull that battery tab out? Because if it's not powered, it can't be seen. If you have pulled the battery tab out, is it actually facing the main unit? They do need to have all the holes, the logo, the eyes, whatever you want to call them, they need to be facing each other. There's two horizontal holes, or two holes side by side on the bottom and on the bottom of the main one. They need to basically be pointed at each other. That's your infrared beam that needs to break. So if the line of sight is broken, then you can't count. So if nothing is blocking them, secondary unit is powered, and you're still not getting any counts, I'd say contact us in support. We'd be happy to help you get these to count. Could be a number of things, but generally alignment, blockage, and orientation is going to be your main culprits. So now that we know that these are installed, they're counting, directionality is good, connected to Wi-Fi in the app, all of that, you are ready to go. A couple things though that you should look out for just in case as you move forward. For now, these are good to go, but as you use them over time, you will want to just check on your emails and just make sure you didn't get any alerts from the Pearl. The Pearl will send you an email alert if ever it goes offline, if ever it's blocked, or if it is in a low battery power state. If you do get a low battery alert, our advice is go ahead and swap out the batteries in the main and secondary units at the same time. With AA alkaline batteries, we recommend Energizer Max or Duracell. Those give us the best results. Some cheaper battery brands, you can use them, but you might experience either lower battery life or performance issues. Another thing that you should take a look at is, let's say you just happen to not be looking at your emails, but you're looking at the Pearl. You want to take a look at the lights on the main unit. The main unit does communicate with you. If nobody is passing through the beams or passing through the two units, and you do see some blinks, there are different blink patterns that mean different things. So if you see a single red blink every 5 seconds, that means that the Pearl is in low battery. It wants its batteries swapped out. If you wait too long before doing that, then you end up seeing no lights and the device is entirely powered off, and it won't be counting anymore. So you'd like to swap those out before it dies. The next thing that you might see is 3 red blinks, rapid blinks, in a row every 10 seconds. That's indicating that the Pearl is, for some reason, disconnected from the Wi-Fi or wasn't able to connect to the Wi-Fi on its last reporting interval. The device is still powered and it's still counting. So don't worry about that. But you may need to reconnect it to your Wi-Fi. It could be disconnected for a number of reasons. Most often, That reason is the Wi-Fi password has changed. All you need to do is open up the app, go and navigate to the device and click the Change Wi-Fi button. You'll update the Wi-Fi information, click Submit, and you should be good to go. Other possible reasons could be, a low Wi-Fi signal, for some reason you're getting some interference, or the access point is not quite strong enough to reach the Pearl. Adding something like a Wi-Fi extender would definitely help resolve that issue over time. Or it could also be a mix of low battery. When the Pearl does become in a low battery state, sometimes it will stop connecting to the Wi-Fi because it's already communicated it's in low battery, it's already told you it's not connected to the Wi-Fi, but it still wants to stay alive as long as possible and collect as much data as possible before turning completely off for lack of power. So it will stop connecting to the Wi-Fi and continue to count, hoping that you will reconnect it and replace the batteries before it fully dies. If you get that done, then again, all those counts, you were able to get them even though you were offline. The next time you come back online, they'll get communicated over the next few reporting intervals. Other than that, that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know about the Pearl. So now let's jump into some reports and start taking a look at some data. Okay, so now I've actually, what I've done is I've pulled up a sample demo account just because that one is already filled with data and it's gonna be a lot better for us to basically navigate through these reports. So let's go ahead and get started. So when you open the app, you'll see the list of your locations. And basically, if you want to see the data for each location, you click on the one that you want to know about. So let's say Montreal, I'm curious about that one. And so here we can see that we have today's counts hourly in the graph. And you can also see the numbers in a table below the graph. At the top, you'll see today's date, as well as today's total traffic counts summed up for the entire day up till now. And you can change days, so you can access up to 4 weeks of data when you're on the free plan. And you can use little arrows just to go back and forth day by day. And you can also click at the bottom on the weekly report to just see a week's worth of data at a time. You'll notice that your current week is in blue and your previous week is in gray, allowing you to compare traffic trends week over week. And if you see here, on this one, on this screen, you'll see that I've got 3 days of traffic and then just gray for the rest. Well, that makes sense. Those days are in the future, so you can see what last week's values are, but you don't have any blue bars because that hasn't happened yet, and those will get populated when they do happen. If we go back to the daily report, I did forget to mention that there is this little details button at the top right of the graph. If you click on the details, that will show you not just your traffic, but the actual raw counts. So how many ins and outs per device per hour. So that's also pretty cool if ever you want to, audit specifics for whatever reason. You can click the back button to get out of there. And the last thing that we have to look at over here is the retail equation. It's a pretty cool little function. Basically what it does is it's going to pull out your traffic for the day so far, and then in there you can enter and add manually your transactions and average sale amounts to get your total sales for the day, or conversion rates, or whatever it may be for the day or for the week. You can edit those at any time. You can also reset all the values. Basically, with the current traffic that you have, how things could be. So either, you put in your current transactions and, sales and whatever, and then you can play around with, well, what if I had more people? And you can start adding traffic and see what the outcome would eventually be to the bottom line. Or what you can also do is edit your sales and transactions. So if your staff was more performant on the traffic that showed up, what would the bottom line effect be? Essentially, it's just a sandbox. It's to play around and see what is versus what could be. Now that you've seen everything that you can do with your traffic data within the free app, if you'd like to get more out of your traffic data, we recommend you check out T.M.A.S. That's our cloud traffic analytics platform, and it is accessible on a PC through your web browser. It allows you to basically have unlimited historical data of your traffic history, as well as giving you the ability to integrate with your POS, have unlimited users with different permission sets, advanced reporting, as well as scheduled reporting, and much more. You can check out all the details at storetraffic.com. In today's session, we've gone from unboxing to reviewing traffic data in your reports right within the app. That covers just about everything you need to know about Pearl. But if you still have any questions, or you have any issues, or are encountering, anything specific that you need help with, absolutely, definitely come reach out to us at help.storetraffic.com. Bottom right corner of the page, there is a button to chat with us, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays, Eastern time zone. We'd be happy to help you out. Just let us know whatever the issue is, and we're there to get you back on track.